Dorkening and all affiliated shows are not intended for anyone under the age of 18. The following may contain discussions or scenes that have adult situations, graphic violence, nudity, strong sexual content, and graphic language. This show is intended for mature audiences only. Viewer discretion is advised.
Everyone thinks because you're a zombie, you don't know good coffee. Well, they're wrong. We have very active lifestyles. It's not all wandering the countryside aimlessly or scaring passing motorists. And we all love a good cup of joe. And there's only one brew that gets my seal of approval. Deadly Grounds coffee is my guilty pleasure. Bold, robust, delicious. It's coffee that can wake the dead. With over a dozen different roasts and flavors, Deadly Grounds can satisfy the most finicky of coffee addicts. The aroma is so intoxicating. It brings all of my neighbors out of the woodwork. Deadly Grounds coffee. Coffee to die for and zombie approved. It's good to get a little deadly. Use the front door! Oh, they're so disgusting.
Persons under 18 will not be admitted.
What's happening, everybody? Welcome to another kick-ass episode of Still Toking with. Yeah, you already know who I am. There's that voice in my head again. Don't tell me Annabelle followed me home this weekend.
I get you. Well, there was a face in the picture.
There was. She was looking at my butt. Dude, I am super excited about tonight's show. 6 seasons in, we've had some incredible guests, some legendary guests, and our guest tonight is in all of those categories. Iconic, legendary, just I am right now. Not fanboying because we don't do that anymore, but I am. So with that being said, I'm going to bring in the glitter man himself, the Flash, Mr. Jeffrey Mark.
So I sparkle a little, so sue me. Hi, everybody.
I like the sparkle.
I know.
It keeps me smiling.
Well, that's why you call me Sunshine, because I keep you smiling. I love that. And I love our guest today, too. You're going to meet her in just a minute. Hey, those of you out there who love people like our guest today, keep our friend of the show and friend of mine personally, Kathy Garber, in your thoughts on the loss of her husband, David. So those of you who put out good energy for those kinds of things, I'm sure it would be greatly appreciated. And before we get to our special guest, who I'm really excited to interview. Let's bring in the other sex symbol of the show, our friend, the wonderful Jeff Holland.
Babbitt. Yeah, it's been a hell of a last few days, and we were at that event this weekend, which is just I want to mention it, the Maine Paranormal and Horror Con. Jeff, you did a fantastic job. That wouldn't be me or the other Jeff. That's a different Jeff. Did you follow that? Yeah, I don't
The
know
one
if you
without the
followed
G, yes.
Yeah, the guy that ran the show, his name's Jeff too. But yeah, for a first year show, he crushed it. It was absolutely fantastic. I just wanted to give him a shout out. Yeah, I'm looking forward to chatting with our special guest tonight. I've been watching her stuff for decades. Not that I'm trying to age her or anything, because she'll probably cuff me up backside the head or something, But yeah, I'm not going to hesitate. Let's just bring her in. Adrienne Barbeau. Welcome to the show.
Good afternoon. Where are you guys?
Jeff with
Where
a
are
J
you?
and Jeff with a J and I are south of Boston, Massachusetts.
Okay.
And Mr. Jeffrey Mark is in the middle of a desert.
I'm just outside of Palm Springs.
Oh, of course you are. Because we met each other at the bookstore years ago.
In Palm Springs, absolutely.
So
wow.
Welcome to the show. Like I said in the intro, you are iconic, legendary. I don't even know how many words I could put into that sentence. Just wow. Your career.
Yeah.
Wow.
Thank you, Ben. I think some of that is just because I just celebrated my 80th birthday,
I
And
will
when
not.
you stay around that long.
You look maybe
You're always dead, or they call you a legend.
you
I
look
never would have guessed
amazing,
that.
Adrienne. Amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
I've been lucky. I've been fortunate.
So do you think the performing thing was a calling? Like you just had to do this? Because you got started so young, at the USO and everything you started with.
When I was in high school, well, my mother started me taking voice lessons when I was, in 5th grade or something, and ballet when I was 3 years old. And so I hated it by the time I was 12. But when I was in high school, I didn't know that people could earn a living doing acting. At some point, I thought, well, I'll go to college and I'll get my degree and I'll teach, because I do like it. I was doing community theater and high school productions and everything. And it wasn't until with the community theater that I was working with, we did a musical comedy review, and we went to the Orient. In those days, it was the Orient, 1963. And entertained the armed forces. I came back, I started college, and then I worked with an actress who had been in New York. She'd been in an off-Broadway show. And she said, everybody talks about getting ready to go to New York or something. You should go to New York and see what's going on there, And I thought, oh, okay. I mean, I didn't know people, my grandparents were farmers, and I didn't know people, and I didn't grow up going to the movies, and I didn't really watch a lot of television, so it never crossed my mind that this was a career. But when she said that, I thought, okay, well, I'll go, and if nothing's happened, because I only knew stage, I wasn't interested in film or television. I thought Los Angeles was a flesh market. Whatever that was, I really didn't know.
Well,
Not wrong.
But my mother would have liked me to go to LA because I lived in Northern California. But I went to New York and I thought, well, if nothing happens by the time I'm 25, I'll go back and get my degree and I'll teach acting. And fortunately, by the time I was 25, I was on Broadway. And so then I realized, I might be able to earn a living doing this. And I've been
My-
very grateful and very happy and proud in a way that I've been able to do it for the rest of my life. I've never had to, I never had to go to the side.
My
So-
first
so-
exposure to your talents was seeing you. I got to see you, I think, twice in Fiddler on the Roof.
Really? Oh,
Yeah.
wow.
Well, my parents were obsessed with the show, and we saw it. I don't know how many times on Broadway. I think I saw it every single Tevye. And every time there was a
alright.
cast change, there we were again. So I saw
you
you, and
saw
I
me.
saw your cohort, Bette Midler.
Bet. Yes. And John Savage,
Yeah.
who went on to do Deer Hunter, and then we ended up doing Carnivàle together. And who else came out of the production when I was doing it? Bea Arthur had already left.
Right.
But yeah, Bette and myself and John Savage, and it was wonderful. I did Huddle at
Yes.
that time. I've done Golda 3 times, and now I understand that there may be a production in the next year or two with a very, a television, a movie star. And I just told my agents, listen, I'd like to at least audition for Yenta.
You'd be perfect.
A great way to go out, right? I'm not interested in Ramacycle, but Yenta I could do.
So how did you transition from stage to film? What
I
created
didn't
that?
transition from stage to film. It was stage to television. I was doing Grease. I was nominated for the Tony, and Norman Lear's casting director came to see the show. I don't know if Norman came at that point, but they called me up and said, we're looking for someone. That Bea had already made her debut as Maude on All in the Family, and they had used another actress to play her daughter. But for whatever reasons, whether she didn't want to move to LA or whatever, she wasn't interested in continuing on. So they called and said, we'd like you to go in and meet with Norman and, possibly do this role. So I went in and I met with Norman in New York. And then the word came back that he thought I was too young because the character had already been established as having a 7-year-old son. Okay, well, back to the wards. I've got a great job on Grease, And about a month later, my agent showed up in between shows on a Saturday matinee. I said, what are you doing here? He said, they want to see you in New York on Tuesday. They've looked at everybody they can look at, and they haven't found what they wanted. So fortunately for me, the producers and my understudy let me come to LA. I flew in. It was the day before my birthday. I flew in on a Monday. I auditioned on Tuesday. They had to let me know by Thursday so I could give 2 weeks notice at Grease. And Thursday came and went. Friday night around 1 a.m, I got the call that they wanted me to start work 2 weeks later. And that was Maude.
Wow.
And I came out. I took a month-to-month rental apartment that would let me have my dog because, who knew? We could be finished in 2 months, and then the show was a hit. And then I started doing more and more television. The film didn't happen in 1978 when Maude went off the air. If you were doing television, you couldn't be seen for film. The prevailing thought was nobody's going to pay to see you in the theater if they can see you for free on Tuesday nights, And I did a TV movie with a young up-and-coming director named John Carpenter. That was called Someone's Watching Me. And John and I met, and eventually fell in love. And he presented me with a screenplay, said, I'd like you to play this character in this screenplay. Well, it was the days of China Syndrome and Coming Home and the Equal Rights Amendment and fighting for freedom of abortion, you know? And he handed me this horror film, you know? It was like, what is this? I'd never seen a horror film. I'd never seen Psycho. I never, you know, I didn't, but well, okay. I mean, it was a great part. And that was The Fog. And that was my first feature. And that, you know, by that time, Johnny Travolta had done Saturday Night Fever, coming from television. And so it was starting to open up a little bit. And so that took me into film.
Well, wasn't John in Grease on Broadway for a while?
John Carpenter?
No, Travolta.
Oh, Travolta. I'm sorry. Oh my God. Did you see the look on my face?
I did.
She's like, wait a minute.
Although John Carpenter is a great singer. He had a band, you know, the Coupe de Ville,
Kind of Grease there, buddy.
that played the music for Big Trouble in Little China.
Yeah.
And I used to love hearing him sing. But no, John Travolta was not in the Broadway show. He played Duty in the first National Company.
Gotcha.
And I know about this specifically because, I don't have it up there, because I wrote a book. I wrote a book along with the director and one of the producers. We wrote a compilation of stories from all the actors who were in the Broadway production, the national tour, the London productions. They all sent us stories, their audition stories, their on the road stories, their getting fired stories. And we released that for the 50th anniversary of Grease in 2022, called Grease, Tell Me More, Tell Me More. And so Johnny has some stories in there. Yeah. But he wasn't even an understudy. You know who was an understudy? Was Jeff. Well, I'm 80. Jeff, you saw the movie, right? I've never seen the movie, so I don't remember what
You're
part
talking about the actor from Taxi, yes?
Yes. Jeff.
Yeah. And I had his name until you
Jeff.
said Jeff, and then I lost it myself. And I want to tell you, since we're talking,
We did Battlestar Galactica together. I mean, or I think that was the.
he reached out to me
Jeff,
for some
I'm not gonna
sobriety
remember.
help, and I
Yes.
tried my best to help him. I didn't succeed, but I want you to know I tried.
Yeah.
That was a great
It
loss.
was. He was a lovely man. But he was one of our understudies on Broadway. And then John did.
Jeff
He played
Conaway.
Duty originally.
Yeah, Jeff
And
Conaway.
then
Yeah.
eventually he played.
Well,
Zuko.
let's lighten this up for 1 second here. We talked about something off camera, and I wanted to
Jeff
talk about it.
Jeff Conrad. Jeff Conway.
Conaway. Yeah.
Yes.
So I
Okay.
tried. I did try.
Go ahead.
Before all of this wonderful stuff we're talking about happened, you and I share something in that we both appeared off Broadway in a musical where we had to appear a little without clothing, naked.
You
now-
were a little. I was a lot.
First of all, I resent that remark.
Well, I don't know. Oh no. You had to appear a little without clothing. You said. I'm assuming.
The number where I had to be completely naked and really be seen, I had to tap dance naked. So my boys were bopping up and down. No one heard a word I was singing. Nobody cared. They were all staring at the boys hopping up and down, because when you're tap dancing, everything on your body moves,
Everything
as you
goes.
well know. How did you
I had
feel?
to sing
I was-
upside down. I had to sing upside down on a raked bed And
Wow.
so my girls, if that's what we want to call them, were also bouncing, but they were going in the opposite direction.
For those of you who don't know, a rake in show business means it's down at an angle
Right.
to show off. There's a rake stage, there's a rake prop to show off whatever's happening on it. How did you
And I
feel
must have
about
been doing, I guess I was doing a headstand. I don't know, but I was upside down.
I know I was terribly nervous, almost embarrassed until the first time I did it and I got the laughs. And as soon as the laughs came, I didn't care anymore. How did you feel about it?
You know, I took the show because up until that time, I had only done Fiddler on Broadway. I'd done a lot of regional theater, but I'd only done Fiddler on Broadway. And I went into Fiddler as a replacement. So I'd never been seen. I'd never been reviewed. I didn't have an agent. And this show came along. It was called Stag Movie. It was about a group of actors who come together to make a stag movie. It was a musical. I was going to sing 13 songs, you know, and so, and you know, if we opened, I was going to be singing. So, you know, and at the time, I don't know if I knew Bill Macy, who played my father.
Who was in Old Calcutta at the time.
Yeah, and he was in Old Calcutta, but I knew someone else who was attached to Old Calcutta. And he kept talking about how they had all these sensitivity rehearsals and, you know, they were all preparing and everything. No, I mean, he said, okay, get up there and, you know.
Yeah,
and,
that's what my experience was. Get up there and do it.
Yeah. I mean, I guess, you know, partly being an actor when you're backstage and, you know, everybody's running around. But also I was raised in a household, it was just women mostly, and there wasn't a lot of modesty, and so I just, you know, I did it.
And before, I mean, these guys are just waiting to talk to you about the horror stuff and John and all that stuff because that's their big deal. Before we get there,
talk.
I have. Can we revisit Maude for just a second? Playing Carol Traynor, and I don't know we ever really heard that last name very often on the show, but it always seemed to me, and this has got nothing to do with you or your wonderful talent. Why is Carol there? Because you were going down the steps, you were going up the steps. Oh, mother. As opposed to, I mean, you're a very intelligent woman and very talented. I always wondered why they didn't throw more of the comedy to you. Were you frustrated by that?
I will tell you honestly that I think when I started doing Maude, I was very nervous. I mean, the first couple of weeks of rehearsal, I was very nervous. I'd never done television. I'd never done anything except musical comedy. I hadn't even done drama, really. And when we sat in the writer's room, where we read the script and everybody, you know, I was pretty quiet. So I suspect that they didn't know how to write for me. You know, they didn't know what my humor was or what my delivery was. I may not have even known. But so Carol ended up being the voice that had to go up against Bea, that had to say get all the information out. The abortion is legal now, Mom, or blah, 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 or whatever it was. You know, she just was straight. Not my favorite character. I mean, it was a joy to go to work every day, you know, and I was like, I had this wonderful family for 6 years and a steady job, you know, I mean, it was a joy. But if I look back at, you know, other characters, Carol, I mean, she was just there. You sort of hit it on the head. You know?
Our dear friends, Bob Schiller and Bob Weisskopf, who were first writers, then head writers, then producers on the show, and they really drove the ship after a while. I talked with them about you because I had the same questions. It seemed like Carol, the character, was a utility player just to like a scene setter. And they said to me, if we would have known how talented she was at that moment, we would have built a sitcom for her. We would have given Carol so much more to do. But they said we didn't know. And I mean, no disparagement to young child actors. They also said the boys, because there's more than one boy who played your son.
Yeah.
They couldn't build a lot of stories around him because it was just hard to get a performance out of him.
Yeah.
So the kid, they couldn't do Carol.
It was on me. It was on me. I was scared.
But
I remember the first week of rehearsal. Well, in the first place, we had a director. Conrad said to me later, when that guy walked in, I thought, oh God, we're in real trouble. I guess Conrad had worked with him once before. We rehearsed. I don't know if he'd ever done television or whatever, but the first
tell us
the
name of this man, please.
I don't remember. Honestly, I don't remember. We rehearsed 90 hours the first week. All I remember is we had a scene where I had a cup of tea, or else I was supposed to be buttering toast or something. And no, I had a cup of tea. And the tech director yelled from the thing, "What's making that noise? What's making that noise?" I was so nervous. I'm going to bring my hand up. I was so nervous that I couldn't keep the spoon steady against the cup. You know, it was like, I do remember that. When we finally did our first telethon, you know, the musical, and suddenly I was in my milieu or my métier. Suddenly it was like, oh, okay. They've hired me because they see this in me and this in me, and this is what I'll bring to it. Norman used to say to me, you know, if you don't trust yourself, trust me. I know you can do this. Just trust me. But boy, those first 6 weeks were brutal. Wow. And they set the tone. The fellas are right. The Bobs are right. Yeah.
It was also for our friends and fans who maybe not know this. Maude was a character that was brought in for All in the Family. It got huge ratings. They said, "Oh, we're going to do what they call a backdoor pilot. They're going to do a story about Maude and her family, so that they don't have to pay extra money for the pilot." And in the pilot, it sets up that Maude is married 5 times, and that her daughter slept with people before marriage, and this is going to be Remember, this is the first spinoff from All in the Family. This isn't the 5th one. This is first. So the show went to air without a Bible, meaning they had not written out all the characters yet. They were going just off of that pilot, which brings this set of circumstances, because people saw how talented you were. They just didn't know where to write and how to write, and they had to make sure that, you know, the stars of this show that Bea was serviced, because she was the star, deservedly so. A lovely lady, wonderful.
Oh yes, yes.
All the people on that show were wonderful persons.
Yes,
you were very lucky to walk into that to learn.
And you know, because it was my first show, I took it for granted. I mean, I didn't realize that there were other shows where the star didn't even show up, you know, until 10 or 11 in the morning, or the star took 4 hours for a lunch, or there was people were fighting, or because it was, and Bea set the tone, and you know, that's just the way I thought it always was. Well, we all came from theater, all of us, and I think that
apparently soap operas too.
Who was that?
That's one of the other hosts of the show that hasn't been able to talk yet for 30 minutes.
Yeah,
But who came from soap operas?
I read that. Well, a lot of actors start off in soap operas.
Oh yes, but not on Maude. We all came from the theater.
Yeah, you all came from the theater, but a lot of actors, for whatever reason, they come from these soap operas, which blows my mind, because I mean, maybe it's a training thing. I don't know.
It's totally different. It's a totally different set of. I did General Hospital in 2012. I did about 9 months.
Yeah, 66
Totally different
episodes
animal.
I read. Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally different
Yep.
animal. Yeah.
You're talking about professionalism, Adrienne, with B. Someone I believe you knew Maria Karnilova, yes?
Yes, she played Mama Golda when I was doing Huddle. Yes.
So I did a show with her. I was attached to a show on Broadway, the Bring Back Birdie. And she played Birdie's mother on that show. And it amazed me that she was late for rehearsals, didn't know her lines, didn't know her lyrics. And we call her Marouche. That was what she asked to be called, Marouche, not Maria. I said, Marouche, what are you doing? She said, the show is a dog. I'm just here for the money. And I thought, how can you have that attitude? Do your best. Everybody you worked with did their best.
Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yeah. 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 Great
Okay,
people.
boys, take her into the
jump in. Talk horror.
I'm going to jump in here for a minute. So we talked about, stage transition to TV, transition to film, with your first film being The Fog with the amazing John Carpenter. You worked with some amazing horror producers and directors, like Stephen King wrote Creepshow, which you were in, which was directed by George Romero.
Yes.
And then Wes Craven's The Swamp Thing. I mean, that just blows my mind for somebody that never had watched a horror film to be cast in such iconic films to this day are still a huge buzz. How does that make you feel?
Well, it's wonderful. And, people ask me, when you were making the movies, did you know that today, like 2025, they would be as popular and a whole new generation will be coming up to you saying, oh my God, The Fog is my favorite film, or I loved you in Swamp Thing, or Creepshow, or
I'm all the above.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's fantastic. It's just fantastic.
Well, the Fog changed
not
things.
any of us anticipated.
Yeah, the Fog kind of changed things a little bit because, I mean, a lot of that was just solo. You were solo in a booth, and that was a brand new take on, the thriller aspect of it, which I thought was absolutely fantastic and well done. You know what I mean? And then you go from there to Escape from New York.
Right.
Which is just a psycho film.
Yeah, see, I jumped over that because it wasn't really part of the horror genre, but again, another iconic classic. I mean,
I've been very fortunate. I've done some horror films that God forbid anybody should ever see.
Oh, but you're not talking about Hoax or Big Legend, are you?
No.
Those are a little bit more recent. Those are okay.
They're okay. No, I'm talking about, well, there's a couple. Well, actually, there's one that was never, I don't even talk about it usually because it was not a film. It was a charity. It was a one-day doing a scene for a charity that the director then, and not SAG or anything like that the director then strung all of these celebrities or well-known actors who had volunteered to do this little short scene for this charity. He put them all together and released it as a movie, which was gotta be illegal. I mean, but anyway, that's not even the one I'm talking about. No, I did a film that I refer to fondly as the Rat Movie, which if you have time to read my memoir, there's a whole chapter about the Rat Movie. I flew to Moscow and landed on the day of an attempted coup. The producer took me to my apartment and said, Val, you stay here. I don't know. We have martial law. I don't know if you go home. I don't know if we make this movie. And that was the beginning. And I was supposed to be working with 32 trained rats. And when I got on the set, there were 16 dead rats and 16 other rats that the prop mistress convinced me that they were not gutter rats. You know, these were circus rats. They were not gutter rats. The only thing they'd been trained to do was to eat anything that smelled like fish. So in every scene where I had to...
Shame on you, Jeff. Shame on you.
She just
froze up. Yeah,
right.
that's okay.
Yeah,
She'll
she'll be back. I hope.
Oh my God, too funny.
Yeah.
What a place to get frozen. Right when she said that.
Yep.
Right. So
Wow.
Experiencing some technical difficulties on Adrienne's end right now. But yeah, I mean,
I didn't know you could train a rat to eat fish.
Right.
But until she gets back, Matt, she was married to John Carpenter. You guys are the big mavens of all the horror stuff. I'm a fan guy. I don't have anywhere near the knowledge. Do you guys have a favorite John Carpenter film? Because I do.
And she's back.
Adrienne is back.
Are you talking? But you're not talking to me. You're talking to the fellas.
Well, since you joined us, your opinion is more important than ours. Do you have a favorite John Carpenter film?
Starman.
Starman.
I love Starman. I really
my favorite.
Jeff Bridges was brilliant.
And I think The Thing was the best horror film I've ever seen.
Yes.
Yeah, that's up there. It's in the top.
And
10.
people think that now. Unfortunately, when it came out, it was the day of ET, and they dragged him through the dirt. But
yeah,
I'm in The Thing.
Yes,
I am in The Thing.
I think I've seen it 10 times now. It is my go-to horror film. Because I'm not a huge horror fan. The boys know that.
Which version though? There's
John Carpenter's, of course. What other version would I be talking about?
Well, you got the one with Is it Kurt Russell that's in it too?
That's John Carpenter's.
Yeah, it's John Carpenter's, because there was one that came out in the 50s too. The original movie.
The original is a nice movie.
That's Jim Arnett, James Arness, isn't it? Wasn't it Jim Arness? Yeah.
James Arnett.
Okay. Yeah.
But to take the James Arness version and completely retool it the way John did, and we didn't have all the computer stuff we have now. What he came up with, I think, is almost perfection. It's just how I feel about the movie.
Right. I mean, we've killed almost 40 minutes talking about her amazing stage and TV and film career. We haven't even touched a 16th of what this iconic, amazing woman has done.
Right.
She has written
voice acting.
She's a recording artist. She's written 5 novels, right? 5 so far.
That's what I came up with.
3 novels and 2 nonfiction. One about Greece and one is my memoir. But 3 vampire novels. Yeah.
Right. So a total of 5 books. And I want to say, folks, if you're interested in anything to do with Adrienne, just check the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. All the links are there for everything that we're talking about, her films, her recording artist stuff, whatever I could find to put in there for a show note to link it back to this amazing woman is there, including all her novels. So I had to get that out 40 minutes in before I forgot.
Yeah. Yes.
Now, if you can see behind me a little bit, let's see, this and this. Let's see, that and that, and there's Cody. Those are what I'm most proud of. Those are my 3 boys.
Now, you brought them up. I have to ask the question. to have twin sons at, what was it, 53 years old?
51.
51. And what was your comment about being in the maternity ward at that moment?
I was the only woman in the maternity ward who was a member of ARP.
ARP, yes.
Yeah.
So we know what Cody's doing. What do your other sons? What are they involved with?
William, up there, they both ended up soccer players, but there he's playing football. William is a music producer. He has one platinum record, I think, and maybe one gold record, and he was nominated for a Grammy because he produced one of the tunes in Elvis, the last Elvis that was,
Wow.
He is also a real estate agent.
Hint, hint.
Which he took on because he didn't want to have to take every music artist that came along. He wanted to be able to pick and choose. And as a result of his girlfriend, they've been together 3 years, he has become off and on model. When they hire her and they want a couple, they hire William. And they just did a commercial for Chanel and one for a jewelry store in New York. And but he's a music producer. Walker has his own line of men's street clothes, and he is a I never get this right. A merchandise developer and product management person, and he provides merch for rock stars and people who are looking to have a line of merchandise to sell at their shows or at the games or whatever it is.
Well, all of your sons come by it naturally. Cody's father is, of course, John. And then your other son's father is my friend Billy Van Zandt, who's an amazing person, very, very talented, very lovely man. So you've chosen well, by the way. Maybe they weren't forever people, but they were good people.
They're forever friends. I mean, Billy's one of I see Billy almost every day. He comes to walk the dogs and play with the dogs and help me with, they're forever friends.
Billy married my friend Teresa Ganzel, who was the last matinee lady with Johnny Carson playing the Tea Time movie thing.
Yeah.
I think it says an awful lot about you that you're such good friends.
Well, it says a lot about them too.
Yeah.
I don't talk to John as often, I don't see him very often. Last time I saw him was when he got his Hollywood star. But I see Billy all the time. He's a good man. They both are.
So let's flip this around to stuff that you wanted to bring up. And you've got a couple of things coming out.
Yes.
A couple of new things coming out. Why don't you tell us about that?
Well, the one I'm really excited about 2 years ago, it was during the pandemic. I did a short film called Oddities for a writer-director named Tyler Savage.
Oh, yeah.
And it's very good, but it's a short. It's just 15 minutes long. And we just finished filming a feature. It's not the same film. It has the same title. And my character bears a resemblance to the character I played in Oddities. An older woman who runs owns an antique store that's filled with oddities and things. And I'm really excited about it. They're just finishing post-production, and Cody will be doing the music. Had nothing to do with me, no nepotism involved. The director knew Cody before he knew me and loved his work. And I didn't even know he'd hired him until, weeks later when he told me. So I'm really excited about that. Obviously, no release date or anything yet. They're just in post-production.
Right. Now, is that
But
like a thriller?
on September 26th, the title of that one is Oddities as well, with two young women who came up who are big Instagram stars as well, came up from Nickelodeon and Disney. Lilimar, who's a voice actor as well as an actress, and Lovey Simone, who has a series on Netflix right now based on a Judy Blume book called Forever, I think it is. And if you know horror or you know Walking Dead, oh my God, how can I do this?
Deep breath. It'll come.
This is just terrible. I just bought these memory pills, and I keep forgetting.
I keep forgetting to take them.
The other night, I texted my sister. I said, I just bought these things, but I keep forgetting to take them.
Adrienne, may I tell you a Bob Schiller joke about memory?
Yes, please.
Our friend Bob Schiller. Bob Schiller, one of the original I Love Lucy writers, All in the Family, and Maude. And he's two older Jewish men are sitting on a bench in the backyard in Miami Beach. And he says, Simon, I finally got a pill that'll make you remember everything. And Simon says, really? What's the name of the pill? He goes, oh, what's the name of that flower? It's red, and it's you give it on Valentine's Day, and it's got little thorns all over it. And he says, the name of that flower is a rose. Ah, Rose, what's the name of my pill?
Well, I can see his face, I can see his name, but I can't. It's got a W in it and a B.
It's got a W in it.
This is terrible. Anyway.
I love it.
That's Oddities. And then on September 26th on Apple Plus is a film that I'm listed as an executive producer, but I have just one really, really nice cameo scene called The Demon Detective. And I'm not sure, I have to research this, but I think that's based on a comic book. Does that sound familiar to either any of the three of you? The Demon Detective?
Demon Detective.
I think it's an independent label comic book.
Comic book? Well, I saw it screening maybe a year or so ago, and it's good. I'm looking forward to having it come out. Stars Dustin Coolidge and Doug Jones is in it, and he's great. And it's good. So that's sort of fun.
You did a part about 10 years ago that it's one of my favorite Broadway parts. It's like the scene stealer. You play Bertha in Pippin. And I know my friend Lucy Arnaz played that part also. Did you do what Lucy did with the swing and the whole business?
Oh, yeah. Hanging upside down, singing the song from the trapeze, no net, doing the whole trapeze act. Yeah.
The original Pippin on Broadway, Irene Ryan, who played Granny on the Beverly Hillbillies, played this part, not what we're talking about.
No,
when they reimagined Pippin, they put this character on a trapeze, and Adrienne and Lucy upside down, swinging with no net above the audience, sing this.
Singing.
I mean, it's just
singing.
It's a show.
I've got it on there. You can see me on YouTube somewhere. If you put in YouTube, Adrienne Barbeau Pippin or something, it's there. Yeah, it was. I'm not dying to get back on stage because I like to watch international television series at night. I don't want my energy is not, I wake up at 4:30 or 5 and I'm ready to go. But that was a role that, how often do you get to do something like that when you're my age? And it was great. Yeah, I toured with it for almost a year.
It didn't frighten you to do it?
No. My only anxiety, and I've always said it's the same reason I had the kids when I was 51. I don't have a lot of imagination. you know. So I don't sit around thinking what could happen, you know.
Oh, you're not Jewish. Okay.
No, no, I mean my only anxiety before I went, I guess it was an audition. Well, they had me go work with the acrobatic choreographer. I wasn't sure if I had enough hand strength, you know, and I did. And I had great, what did they call them? Porters. The fellow that holds me upside down and grabs me by the legs and all of that stuff. Yeah. So
I didn't get to see you do it, but I heard from everybody who did, you stopped the show.
It was fun.
Amazing.
It was fun.
Amazing. So we're getting close towards the end of the show. So something I wanted to bring up is something that we talked about backstage, and that's your day job, where you are video capturing for the blind.
Yes. Yes.
Tell us about that.
Some people call it narrating. Some people call it audio describing or video captioning. If you put your TV, or if you go to the movies and you wear the head, if you're visually impaired, if you put your TV on the SAP channel, you will hear my voice or someone's voice describing what's going on screen in between the dialogue. So one of the series I did, you know, for years was SWAT. Another one was SEAL Team.
Really?
You know,
Two of my favorites.
And so you'll hear my voice saying, you know, he turns to her with a furrowed brow. That's always a big one. Now, somebody's always turning with a furrowed brow. But, you know, describing the action. The assailant is down, or, you know, with the automatic rifle, he's blah, blah, blah. Or, you know, they move in quietly. And whatever's going on screen that someone who's visually impaired can't see. So, and I love it. I've been doing it since 2014, I think. And my favorite is I get to see, I do a lot of Novas, you know, for PBS. And it's a show that I would never watch on my own just because I don't know why. But I get to learn a lot too. And then I get to see some things that are really terrible. And some things that I might never turn on, but oh, wow, you know, they're really fascinating. And yeah, it's great fun. And it's the kind of thing where if I do get a real job, go off to do this movie or whatever, I just call my producer and say, I'm going to be out of town for 3 weeks. During the pandemic, I went to New Zealand to do Cowboy Bebop. And I took my recording equipment with me. They had they were doing everything, you know, over the phone. We weren't going into the studio at all. So I took everything with me to New Zealand and I recorded from my hotel room. And it was great. Yeah.
So
you did something I've never heard you talk about, but I have not heard every interview you've ever had. You had what I can see as a blessing. You played Judy Garland in an off-Broadway show
that Billy Van Zandt wrote. Yes.
Please, anything you care to share about? Did you sing? Did you do her songs at all? Or
no, it was not a musical. It was not a musical. It was a 2-character drama taking place backstage the night of her last concert. It's been so many years. That was 2005.
Yeah.
One of the hardest things I've ever done. One of the things that didn't come, do I want to say naturally or easily to me? I had a great director, Glenn Casal, and the audiences loved it. New York intelligentsia didn't like it because we were television people, you know. Billy came from half-hour sitcom and farce and all of that, and so they didn't love us in the papers. But the audiences stood up.
Who was the other
What's
character
the
besides
name?
Judy?
Hmm?
Who was the other character? You said
Who
it
was
was a
her
two-character.
stage manager? Her stage manager. Yeah.
So this is
Ran
her.
for-
in
it was a limited run. We went in knowing it was going to be a limited run. 3 months down at, I think it was the Actors Theater in the Village. Is that the name of it? Yeah, I think so.
on 7th Avenue?
Yes. Yeah.
Actors Playhouse. That's the place. That's where I did my
Actors
opera.
Playhouse.
That's right.
Yes.
So it took place in Amsterdam, supposedly backstage at her last concert.
Yes. Amsterdam or Copenhagen? Oh,
Copenhagen.
Jeffrey, you probably
Copenhagen.
know
You're
better
right.
than I do.
You are right, and I am wrong. Copenhagen. You are
Yes.
right.
Yes.
I think Jeffrey
Yeah.
Mark needs to borrow some of those memory pills.
Oh my
Yeah.
God! I've got to figure out his name, you guys. Let me use my phone.
Mr. Holman, you look like you had a question before I jump in.
Yeah, I was wondering. I mean, you've played such iconic roles in forever movies, is what I call them. Do you have a role that you want to do that you haven't had a chance to do yet? Oh,
We've lost audio.
it's when she picked the phone up.
Yep.
Okay, does that work?
There you go.
Yes,
Yep.
ma'am.
Okay, I'll forget the phone. We'll figure out his name. The role that Jane Fonda did in Clute, Bree Daniels, was that the name? Wow, did I remember that?
Wow.
I love that role. And Paul Newman's wife, Eva Marie Saint. No, who was Paul Newman married to? Woodward. Joanne Woodward. Joanne Woodward did The Three Faces of Eve.
Yes.
Do you remember that? I mean, this
Oh,
is going way back.
Right.
Maybe I just love those two roles, and maybe I never. But no, I've never. I've never thought in those terms. Oh, I'd love to do this or I'd love to do that. I can tell you about a horror film that I turned down.
Please.
Sure.
I got this script and this offer from my agency, and I read 20 pages of it, and I called the agent and I said, "There's no way. I'm not doing this. I can't do this. This is not for me." And then about a year later, I was at a convention, and Bill Moseley was there, and he had a line of people waiting for his autograph that went, all the way to the back of the convention center and out the door. And I said, "Bill, this is great. What movie are they asking for? What are you signing?" He said, "The Devil's Rejects." And that's the one I turned down. I'd be a much wealthier woman, but I couldn't do it. It was just not me.
Which part were they did they want you for? Because that's a fantastic movie.
I didn't see it. Which part would I have been right for when they made it? I don't know. I never saw it. And I only read 20 pages.
Well, okay. Yeah, because I know Dee Wallace was in that too.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dee was in it.
Yep.
I don't think it would have been the same one. And his and Rob's wife was in it, right?
Yep.
But she was probably cast right from the beginning. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
I don't
I mean,
It
yeah.
was just
If he
too
didn't,
strong for me.
if he didn't cast his wife at the beginning, then he would have been in the doghouse.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. I did end up working with him for his Halloween, but we ended up in the director's cut. It was just too long.
Yeah.
But the one thing we haven't talked about that I really love and that can still be seen is Carnivàle. That was one of my favorite all-time roles. I really loved
I was going to get.
I love the series. I love the people, everything. It was really sad to not go any further, but you know.
A midnight screening in Boston. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. We have a comment. We have a ton of comments and
how
stuff.
nice.
Ton of comments that came in this evening. If I missed any folks, I apologize, because I'm still like you in the chat. I'm like talking to such an iconic legend in the industry, somebody that got her start in the late 1960s as a go-go dancer for the Mob.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. You beat me to that one, Ben.
And here we are in 2025, and she is still crushing the industry.
Let's spend 30 seconds on that. Did you like dance for people in someone's home who were mob people, or you dance in a mob owned joint?
No. I had just gotten to New York, needed to work at night because you got to make rounds during the day and audition and take classes and everything. So I took a job at a place called Maddie's Mardi Gras that was run by Matty the horse. That's the only way I ever knew him. I found out when I wrote my memoir that it was Matty Ianello, who was one of the members of one of the families, whatever. I was a cocktail waitress, and then I think I graduated to a bartender, but I was a cocktail waitress. And Matty had these motorized mannequins. I guess now you'd call them animatronics. In those days, we called them motorized mannequins, dressed up like musicians on this stage. The bar, when you walked in, the bar was on the right, and there was this stage with these mannequins. Well, people would come in and think there was a live band, and they'd order their beer and pay for their beer and turn around, and it's not a live band. And so they were getting pissed off. So Maddie got the idea that the girls should get up and dance to the music. And I don't know if this is true. I was told by one of the girls who later wrote a book about it, because she was somebody's mistress, that that was the beginning of go-go dancing. You know, it was before Trudy Heller and everything. I did then end up working at the Eighth Wonder down in the Village for Trudy Heller.
Yes.
But I was, we wore long sleeve black leotards, and I don't remember if we had tights or not, but it was it was the beginning. And then I went off and did summer stock, and when I came back, I got an agent who just booked discotheque dancers or go-go dancers in New Jersey and in Port Washington and in, Long Island and everything, and take the tubes out or take the train out and dance from 9 until 2 and then get back home. And it probably played Under the Table. I don't remember now, but you could work 4 nights a week and make enough to live on while you were trying to be an actor. That's what we did.
Goldie Hawn got started that way on the West Coast.
Yeah.
Nice.
Boy, you mentioned Trudy Heller. I haven't thought about that name in a long time. Sure.
The Eighth Wonder.
There
was Trudy Heller.
Go ahead.
There was the Eighth Wonder that was on 8th Street, I think, and that was her son, maybe. And I danced there. But then there was Trudy Heller's, which was on one of the south-north streets in the Village.
Yeah, I sang there once. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I just want to, the 10th Dimension had asked earlier about, did we talk about Maude? I just want to reply to that real quick. The first 20 minutes of the show was all about Maude. Well, actually, the first 25 minutes of the show was about Maude. So if you missed that, you can go back and rewatch this on YouTube, Facebook. You can go to our website and watch it. If you're an IMDb type person, you can go there. It'll be on there tomorrow. So just to kind of, oh no, you don't have to be sorry you missed it. You were late, man. It's your fault. It's that. I'm just kidding. It's just like I said, you got your start in the 60s. Here we are in 2025. You talked about Carnivàle, but through that entire career, what is one of your most memorable moments?
In terms of my work?
Just
In terms of anything.
in life in general. I mean, we know your children.
The children, I mean, it always comes back to the children. Well, I do remember rehearsing the snake dance on Carnivàle when the snake decided to defecate.
Well,
And, you know, they only do that once a month.
everybody's a
But
critic.
every time I put that snake on with that beautiful costume, it was like, what the, oh my God.
So she got turned on by a snake.
And being in Moscow, filming at what had originally been a castle built for Catherine the Great that had never been completed. We're on the set. There's no toilet. The actor's room is maybe, you know, a mile away, and I'm outside in the bushes with a copy of Pravda for toilet paper, thinking, I'm starring in this film. So those are the kinds of things I remember.
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing.
Wow.
So we are a little over time, folks. I don't want to keep Adrienne all night. She's a very, very busy person. She did take time out of her schedule to sit here and chat with us this evening. So, Mr. Jeffrey Mark, do you have a last question for this amazing guest?
Yeah, something I don't know about you. Have you become a grandma yet?
No, none of my children are married. I'm a great aunt. My sister's daughters, I'm very, very close to. One of them lived with me for several years. They both have children, but no, not yet, not yet. Cody will never have children. He doesn't think a child should be brought into this world, right?
Well, he's entitled, absolutely.
And William and Walker aren't married yet. You know, not that they have to be married to have children, but they don't have children yet.
Right.
Because I could see you being such an anti-MAME grandma.
Well,
yeah,
I love
absolutely.
being with my nieces and my great nieces and my great nephew. And they are pistols. Oh my God, are they pistols? Somebody asked the 5-year-old the other day what she wanted for dinner. She said, a burrito and a bud. A bud and a burrito.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Oh, Mr. Holman.
Yeah, I got a question, something we didn't touch upon. Are you doing any conventions? Do you have any conventions and appearances scheduled?
I've done 3 this year. I don't have any more scheduled. I am going to be the guest of honor at the Erie Film Fest in October. I think it's about October 10th and 11th. It's not a convention, it's a film festival.
Okay.
Yeah, but I do the, you know, I do them when
Occasionally,
they
you'll do
ask.
Okay.
I just did, I think I was just in Atlanta. No, Raleigh. I was just in Raleigh for Monster Mania, maybe.
Monster
or,
Mania.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You know, we
Sounds
work
about
with
right, yeah.
we work with a convention manager who, you know, calls and says they'd like you for this one. Are you available and whatever? And I don't do too many. I like to do maybe 4 a year. I don't like to go back if I've been someplace. It's like
Right.
You know,
So,
but,
do you know the name of the convention manager?
yes, Sean
Give-
Clark.
There you
You
go.
know
So,
Sean.
folks, I've heard the name.
Convention
I don't-
All Stars. Convention All
All
Stars.
Stars. Okay.
Yeah.
So I've
Yeah.
not personally met Sean, but I have heard the name. So, folks, to all our promoter friends out there, and there's a lot of you. There is a lot of you over here on the East Coast. You know, Adrienne wants to go someplace he hasn't been yet, like Maine or Vermont. Just saying, guys. You know,
You're right. I've never done Vermont or Maine. I don't think I've ever done Maine. I did my
So-
first summer stock tour in Maine, Skowhegan.
Skowhegan?
and we were in Massachusetts too. But no, I've never done Vermont or Maine.
So there you go to all our promoter friends that are watching this or maybe listening to this later or watching it later. Sean Clark, that's who you got to go. Convention All-Stars?
Convention All-Stars, yeah. I think it's on my website.
Well, and her website is in the show notes along with all the links to her books and her films, folks. So, yeah, there's been a ton.
I have one last question. Why vampire books?
You know, I wrote the memoir, and I was approached by an Irish author who had like 100 books published in the UK, science fiction, horror, romance, everything. And he said, you know, the book is really good, but you wrote the wrong book. What are you talking about? He said, you should write something for your horror fan base. I said, oh, you know, I could write the memoir because I knew the stories. I can write characters, I can write dialogue, I can write scenes, but I'm not a story person. I don't really, my mind doesn't work that way. I don't think in stories. And he said, well, I'll help you. And so we did Vampires of Hollywood together. We sat down and he said, what do you want to do? What kind of thing do you want to do? And I said, well, do what they say, write what you know, I know horror films. I know theater, movies, or the movie business, and I know Armenians. So we wrote a 450-year-old Armenian vampire who happens to be the head of a small movie studio that produces horror films. And she is also the head of her clan of vampires, most of whom are A-list Hollywood actors like Orson Welles and Charlie Chaplin and Mary Pickford and
great concept.
and I went and I really researched and I made sure that the way those people had died could give rise to the fact that they were back and they were vampires, and I love detective stories, so we made it. She hooks up with a hunky detective. And they're trying to figure out who's killing the A-list Hollywood actors. That was the Vampires of Hollywood. Time came to write the second one. We had a deal for 2, and my writing partner wasn't available, so I took on the second one myself. And actually, I like the second one even better. It's more my voice. There's more humor in it, I think, and then my publisher, my digital publisher, asked me to write the third one. And so that one takes place in the convention world. And that one's called Make Me Dead. And it finishes the trilogy. I could never write another vampire novel in my life, I'm sure. Although I am going to try and bring it to the screen. I'm working on the screenplay. So
amazing.
I
So,
look forward
folks,
to that.
like I said, we are over time, and Adrienne is a very, very busy woman, so we don't want to keep her any longer because it's probably getting close to dinner time out there on the West Coast, and I know it's getting close to dinner time here on the East Coast for Mr. Holman. He turns into a Sasquatch if we don't feed him by 8:30. So if you folks want to know more about Adrienne, her amazing career, where her books are, just check the show notes up above or down below, depending on where you're watching or listening to us. All her social media links that she uses are there. So give her a follow, or better yet, see where she's going to be, maybe a book signing or an event or a film festival. Get off your ass, go out to the festival and meet this iconic legend. Then you can tell people that you met her. It's really that simple. So
I'm gonna add one thing if I can.
Sure.
I do my Instagram, and what I post on Instagram goes to Facebook, but I never look at Facebook. I haven't been on Facebook for years, so don't go to Facebook and hope that you're gonna, get some kind of a response for me, because I just don't do Facebook.
So there
I
you
do
go,
Instagram.
folks. Yeah, I honestly don't think I put Facebook in the notes.
Good.
I think it was your website, your Instagram, and then the link to all your books and a bunch of other links so people could find out more about you. You know, some people know you from like you said, Maude. I mean, some people know you from Creepshow or Swamp Thing, and a lot of people can't put all of it together and go, "Oh my God, that's the same person."
Yeah,
Right.
especially the voiceover stuff. Catwoman. I mean, you're Catwoman.
We didn't even talk about Catwoman in DC Universe. We didn't even get to talk about it, you know, because somebody sucked up 25 minutes on Maude, but it's okay.
I'm the overseer. I'm the overseer in the video game of Fallout 76 too.
Yes, you are. Yes, you are, Jeffrey Mark. I'm just teasing you, brother.
Yeah, Adrienne, as soon as we're done, they're both going to spank me long distance.
You realize,
you
Jeffrey,
like that.
You realize that a third of your audience has never heard of Maude. They don't know what Maude is. Oh, the woman from Golden Girls, you know.
Right.
I love it. So, anyways, I'm going to leave everybody full screen tonight for the ending of the show. So, Mr. Jeffrey Mark, where can people find you?
All right. As it's spelled right below here, my name on Facebook, Jeffrey Mark Showbiz on Instagram. I think it's Mr. Jeffrey Mark on LinkedIn. Turn on your electric toothbrush, put on something electric. Sooner or later, one of my shows will be on. Let's thank Harlan Boll, my publicist, for arranging to have this wonderful woman come on with us. Thank you, Harlan. I've interviewed over a very long career a lot of people, and I'd be hard-pressed to say I had any more fun than I had in the last hour and 16 minutes. So, Adrienne, thank you. Thank you. If you enjoy us here, there is a sort of a sister show, Jeffrey Mark Plays Ella, that Ben produces, that Jeff sprinkles his love all over, which we appreciate. I play Ella's music, and we talk about insider stories about how Ella Fitzgerald's music was made and why it's important. So on all these same platforms and channels, you'll find that as well. And our other sex symbol, Jeff, I'm sorry I talked so much today. I was just having so much fun.
It's no different than any other day. Adrienne, thank you so much. This will be a lasting memory for me. You don't know how much I really appreciate sitting here and being able to talk with you and learn more about you besides seeing you on the TV screen. So thank you very, very much. As far as us, just go to stilltoken.com. Pretty much everything will be there. Token with the Dead on Facebook. Go to our YouTube, Still Toking With, and give us a follow, give us a like. There's hundreds and hundreds of interviews there for you to see.
269 episodes.
Yes.
6 seasons.
Yes.
So, and if you're not a video type person, you can go to any one of the 19 podcast platforms out there. Just look for Still Toking With, and all that is there as well. So, like Mr. Holman said, stilltoken.com is the best place to check out everything that you want to know about Jeff and I, from the novel series to the comic book series, TV series, the new animation that's out, and of course, this amazing show. Thank you again, Adrienne, for taking time out of your busy schedule to spend an evening with us. It is greatly appreciated, and you will always and forever be an iconic legend.
Thank you very much. I really had a good time.
And on that note, folks, to all our veterans and first responders, we want to thank you for doing what you do so people like us can come up here and do things like this that we like to do. Stay safe. We'll see you next week. We're out.
Have a happy.
Peace.
Bye.